Happy Friday. How are you?
Happy Friday, everyone. Yeah.
Good, good. I'm excited to be here. We've been doing lots of work. So I think it's very exciting what's going on, and that some of our conversations lately have been more, I didn't know that, or people that are just skeptical on tools and how to use them, or that the same thing with AI. People think it's going to take over, right? And people are going to not have jobs. So I think it's fair that we just have this conversation on how to use tools to enhance the person, not really to take over their job. Like, people are still needed to go in there and understand these systems deeply and how they work, and have that connection. So I think it'll be nice to just talk about it.
Yeah, I think it's you started from a very interesting angle. I've been listening recently to so many podcasts about how AI is going to take the job of everyone and getting also anxious. But then I started to think that even in the times of crisis, the
Mhm.
energy efficiency, it's still extremely important topic. The rational use of energy, it is
Mhm.
exactly where the work is. And the compressed air is everywhere in every single facility. So it's not just about replacing the job of people that work only on the computer, but
Mhm.
it's extremely hard to replace the job for people actually that go in the facility. It's like the
Yeah.
most popular specialization will be plumbers and electricians,
Yeah.
right? Rather than like coders or I don't know any like people in marketing or something else.
Yeah.
So and then we see in our market the compressed air. It's a little bit like a weird market, at least like from I see. It's close, it's small and close, but at the same time is huge. I don't know,
Yeah.
it's some kind of like of a black hole feeling there, that you kind of like know so many people that actually work in the compressed air, but at the
Yeah.
same time you don't know so many things, because what we know when we talk about the compressed air is usually compressor suppliers,
Mhm.
and then it's auditors. So
Mhm.
basically it's all about the state of the art, that there is a system. It looks usually very old. Something is running wrong there, and then the auditors come and they're just trying like to put the duct tape there, or like to
Mhm.
help, or like to change some things in the compressed air systems. And but there is not like the systemic thinking of the,
Mhm.
is it actually the air is used in the correct way.
Mhm.
So, and this is where the all the efficiency and the saving coming from, rather than from the let's fix the compressed air systems, or
Mhm.
let's fix the compressor room. And another thing also what that I noticed, and I think it's amazing actually, that everyone can be a compressed air specialist because
Anyone can, yeah.
anyone can, because unlike like electricians, for example, that need a certain certifications.
Mhm.
To be a compressed air auditor, you don't need to have a certification for that.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, there are some certification that we see that we saw from our colleagues from the British Society of Compressed Air.
Mhm.
There's KGI, but it's kind of like the qualification certificates, right? That
Mhm.
you can go and you can listen for some topics from other auditors. But compressed air is not just a compressor room; it's also the production line.
Mhm.
And you have usually zero certificates of the production line, and the
Mhm.
production line is usually falls into the engineering specialization. So it's of the people that actually engineer those production lines.
Mhm.
So this is so weird for me always, that compressed air is used everywhere. So it's like there's always like this like golden like small line that goes across like everything. It touches every single person in the
Yeah.
facility, but like no one is not even just responsible for that.
Mhm.
Like, no one even like trained for that to do that.
Mhm.
And very often I get the questions like on LinkedIn, people asking like, I want to be like an auditor. Can you suggest me like a school or a course? Which course I have to listen, or like which certification I need to
Yeah.
get? And I don't have a certification as a compressed air expert. So I'm a mechanical engineer who did the research in compressed air, and I'm an expert in
Mhm.
compressed air systems and
Mhm.
pneumatics.
Mhm.
But I don't have like well, I have my diploma of PhD in compressed air systems, but I don't have like the certificate that I can be auditor. So it's like a very funny ground. And right now I'm gonna throw a little couple of stones, maybe of some other colleagues on the LinkedIn, like that do also like auditing and things
Yeah.
that very often you can just come up as a very person with a very strong opinion and say
Mhm.
I'm a compressor auditor, and
Yeah.
then are just people like listen to you, right? But it's not necessarily in the reality. You can go into the facility, you can maybe save some energy, you can solve some couple like of problems. But what I noticed a lot, it's kind of like a very intuitive also thing.
Mhm.
Like it's just like my intuition says, you need to put here, you need to put here, and then a lot of people say, yeah, as more experts you get into the ground, more opinions you get, and from this opinion you need to like find some amazing solution.
Yeah.
I don't believe in opinions when it connects to the engineering. I
Mhm.
believe in opinions about the I don't know, politics, religion, culture, all these humanistic, let's say, directions of our life. But in engineering, you have the gravity is 9.8 meter per second square,
Yeah.
So that's like the acceleration. So it's there. It's not so much like opinion usually to discuss, especially in our thing. So you have the normal cubic meter, so CFM. You have the pressure drops. You have the
Mhm.
calculations for that, and this is actually the fine line where it comes that the tools are coming into the place, plus your expertise, or as an engineer, as an auditor, or as a salesperson who can actually apply to that. So
Mhm.
you always need to know what is actually the right answer, what you want to have as an answer, and then you prove with the tools that this is actually the right answer. You prove not just with the tools, but you prove it with the physics. And
Mhm.
this is why I think it's I don't know, like what in general you feel about the what I say, because this is this weird feeling that I usually get from the compressed
Yeah.
air industry,
Yeah.
and there is like no structure, so it's so
Mhm.
chaotic, it's so like impulsive, so everyone like
Yeah.
just goes and like, okay, now I'm an auditor, now I'm an expert, I get some couple of the certificates, I have this opinion, you have this opinion, and then I usually like come to the facility, and there have been already 3-4 auditors that did some jobs that
Mhm.
not necessarily bad or good. It's just like it has a different result.
Right.
So
Right. Yeah. And we're seeing that just between different auditors who come in getting different results, which as an end user, I think the compressed air industry. So if we step way back and then just look like pretend we're on the outside and we haven't been in it for so long, that we know the demand side is chaotic. It's a mess. Like,
yes,
but it's what they had to work with at the time to get the products out the door and moving, right? So this is where we see the duct tape. This is where we see the random pipes that they had laying around to just get the air where it needed to go. And it works. And I like how you always say it's robust enough to keep working or just to up the pressure, and it's gonna work more or less. Um, but then we have these people who maybe solve some issues in the beginning and then they get more and more confident. And I think there's definitely not enough, I don't even want to say experts, there's not even enough auditors to go into all of these facilities to help
yeah,
untangle all of these messes. There's not. So even like having tools can help both new auditors come in, use physics, use facts, and then also the auditors who are good and who know what they're doing can do
yeah,
more. They can do more faster, more effectively, and then help even more plants than what they're doing now. By
yeah,
going in, they know exactly what to collect, where to put things just based on their experience, and then use the like tools to enhance that and not necessarily take over what they're doing, but just so they can genuinely help more facilities. And I think when people start to look for things, and I don't want to throw out this term, but I can't think of a better word, like, but it's kind of like that imposter syndrome. Like if you're calling yourself an auditor, they need some certifications just to help them justify them coming in. So I mean, that's just like a basic human, kind of like, I need some backup to support what I'm
Mhm.
doing, what I'm saying, but there's nowhere really to go. So then people see a need for this, and then like created these different small agencies that can help, give certain certificates as a result of people genuinely looking for that. So I think it's still in like the growing pains phase right now with auditors, and I think a lot more people are waking up and seeing that there is so much potential in there, and they just want to figure out where they fit
Yeah.
into into where the industry is going, and especially now
Yeah.
with AI, without using fear tactics that everything's going to take over. I mean, unless these robots come out in full force and learn how to put a flow meter in, we're gonna need humans to go do that. You know, um,
Yeah, I think it's not just about like the robots putting the flow meter in. I think it's that, but honestly, in nowadays, for example, for me, certificates is something that is not convincing me. What convinced
yeah.
me is to have the preliminary like understanding, to see that the person understands very well, that already can
Mhm,
show me at the first visit like the tangible results,
mhm,
and then go already study it like into the details, because there are like so many things. Sometimes a lot of facilities have already flow meters, so it's a lot of like algorithms already can analyze things. And I've heard like some auditors also using like just like a simple LLM models that already give like the good results like in their head for them. But the
mhm,
moment you adjust more and more and more thing, you still need to build this expertise, because you need to have this trust with the client.
mhm,
And like from my side also, what I think is it's very important, and what we've been working on, as I said, like it's not replacing the auditors, not replacing the experts in the field, but adjust the different types of tools for the
mhm,
different types of users. Because sometimes you just need like just a simple calculation to
mhm,
convince a customer that a simple leak detection, even though like I'm so tired of the leak detection thing already, I'm just like, it's not like it's 10% usually in the facility, so 15%, like the real savings is on the demand side. But anyway, even just like to start with, because now we know that the most auditors, they start with leaks,
mhm.
and this is non-invasive thing. You just go, you
Yeah.
like, it's a very nice simple job, but there is like also a quick
Mhm,
win for that. So, but even like just to explain the customers that, listen, you can have like the leaks, and even to get this first visit to a customer, you can just call and say, what is your pressure levels? What are the running of the compressor room? Listen, if you have a 10% of leaks, this is cost you so much. Did you
mhm,
know that like one hole of the 1 millimeter of the pipe, open pipe, will cost you that much for
mhm,
your system? Because we see all this like spreadsheets, like some posts on LinkedIn, 1 millimeter of a 6 bar will cost you that and that.
yeah.
But you can be in India, you can be in US, you can be in Italy. Things are completely different, and it doesn't get to this like a personal link with the
Mhm,
customer. So this is just like this a small thing for the quick understanding. But
mhm,
then if you need like to size a dryer, for example, if you need to check just a part of the systems, if you wanted to replace the open drilling with the rail, for example, with the air knife, it's extremely important also first to check, and you if it is gonna fit the system or not. And this
mhm,
is, I would call, like the first entry level for the quick tools, for the
mhm,
quick saving tools that can support auditor, salespeople, it can support application engineers, it can support also customers. Just first to see what is going to be my first ROI, what is going to be
mhm,
like my payback. And for that, you don't need like to have a certificate or education, but you start to build the dialogue with your customer. So you start, and this is why it's important that to help the companies, you still need to explain them that they need this help. They have
yeah.
this problem, right? It's not like that they come to the doctor and, okay, I have this problem. It's rather than like, listen, you actually like not well, so
Yeah.
let me help you. So, and this is, as people that working with this kind of system, there is always the step zero, just to
Mhm,
explain that there is like there are costs, can be problems, and can be like mutual benefit into the solving this problem. So for that thing, you don't need to have a special certification or education. So it's enough just to have the part of the tools, the pile of tools that you can give. Then the next step, where you actually need already to understand very well the systems, it's when you go into the facility. So you need to collect all the data. And for this data, you need to know where the compressor room, how the compressor looks like, how like the dryer looks like, to take the relevant photos of all this thing. But it's not enough. I just recently received also some kind of like a walkthrough information, and it's just like it feels like the photos are taken like just, I don't know, from the left right side, like there is like no even feeling of what it has to be done.
Yeah.
But then there is like the third level already when you go into the demand side, and you want to understand the entire system, collect data also there. And there, for example, also very, very interesting thing, the information that I received, I asked people, could you please tell me the pressure level for the use of the compressed air? And then they just replied me, the auditor that collected the data, he's not a compressed air expert, he is auditor for entire facility, so he just like collects everything. So it's like the main, like there is no pressure sensor in the distribution line.
Yeah.
So of course there is no pressure sensor in distribution line, because there's usually the pressure regulator in front of each machine, and you go and you see the pressure regulator, and then you see the pressure level there. So, and this is already like the next step. It's basically you need already to be already an engineering expert, meaning that you need to know how the components look like and how they behave and what they actually do. So, and here, for example, there is already the competencies of for example, the salesperson that goes and sells just one type of the component is already not enough. Or for the auditor that goes only in the compressor room, it's not enough, because you need to go into the facility and you need to see, okay, what is it actually, how to find the pressure drop. Another funny story, right? So I had a work many years ago in one facility where before they installed like super duper monitoring system, and then like they created super nice colorful diagrams, and then there's like everything was like fancy, and then they're like, at the end of the report, they're like, we found out that there is a pressure drop of 3 bar. You need to buy you, and then at the conclusion, you need like to compensate it by a bigger compressor. Now, of course, we know that it's ridiculous. I mean, we always knew that. But the funny thing, when I arrived to the facility, I actually went to a compressor room. I saw the pressure there. And then I went to the production line and I saw the pressure there. So, and you see when the production starts, there is a drop of a 3 bar. It's another rocket science. You don't need to have a fancy diagram and the monitoring system for that to see that. And here is already, it's not just a tool that you need. You need to have here already the certain training and competence for that. So then once this data is collected, and now let's say like it's like a level 2. So you already know how pneumatic cylinder looks like. You already can estimate, you can see what is the diameter of the piping. You can see you can understand, you already go and deliberately look for the pipe length between the cylinder and the valves. So here you already know what I need. So once you collect this information, then you need to tool already to model this. And to model this, it already goes into the competence, I would say, like very high. Yes, you still have the tool, but I mean the high in the compressed air, it's already, you need to be an engineering expert, because you need to create the PID diagram, not just the piping, not just the blue line, but you need actually to put every single consumer, collect every single thing, and then already model this thing. And here I don't just like sell our software. There are many softwares that also can do this, but you also need to be able to choose what tool I need here. Do I need to improve some logic of this? Do I need to improve the consumption? So here you already can see, and here is already simulation modeling tool. And this is, for example, what I was doing like for a few years. I was like the modeler, the engineer that was doing the models. So, and then for here, you need to be like an engineer. So, but then here's the last point comes. you need actually to be an expert in compressed air and pneumatics and everything, because you need to understand how I can optimize it. And here you need to have a knowledge of the demand side, of the blowers, optimization of the forces, and the tools just help you. They will not replace you. Yes, maybe you can put like in the future, in the near future, in some models, and say, okay, here, this is like the model that I have.
Yeah.
Find me, and but you need still to train it, and there still has to be physics behind it.
Hmm.
So, and then at the end, this is already you have the full, you have just simply different experts that do these
Yeah.
things. So just an auditor not necessarily will be enough for you to, for example, to have the model of your system. And this is
Mhm.
important. Like we shouldn't underestimate compressed air, because there is so much opportunities for the savings. I see nowadays with the crisis that we have now. With I mean, we have crisis every time, but like a recent few couple of days, like it's even more.
Yeah.
So the prices are going up, and people just asking me, "Oh, we have like this 5 compressor. Do you think it makes sense at all to look at the system?" Of
Hmm.
course, it makes sense to look at the system. And then say, "Okay, our compressor is like 9 bar. Does it still like make sense? What is your production line?" Well, we don't know. Maybe we can ask maintenance manager.
Yeah.
So, but we don't know, there is no pressure sensor. So, of course, here you already need the expert. So, and this is why I wanted to talk today about that. The tools, as you said, they don't replace the person, but the person need to know what tools actually to use
Hmm.
and when which tools to use. And
Yeah.
I would like to invite everyone that listening to our podcast is also to go into our Direktin.com website and just like check tools that you can find there. I mean, you can try all of them. It's free. You can have like the dashboards, and you can see from the project management until from the quick saving calculators, where you can just simply save the things, to the modeling tools. And depending on your capacities, depending on your knowledge, and depending also on your needs, maybe you don't need everything,
Right.
already build around your expertise and build already what actually
Mhm.
people need then in the future. So I think it's very important, and we shouldn't underestimate what are all the opportunities actually the compressed air brings to us. And I'm sure now it's going to be a lot of also jobs opening in that field.
Yeah, I think so too. As AI does replace some things, it's not going to replace compressed air anytime soon. Um, so lots of job opportunities, lots of tools coming out. We can have a disclaimer that please don't put it into ChatGPT because it will agree with you every time. So you know what? You're right. It should have this. Oh,
I tried. It is funny. Like I tried to, like for fun, to ask
Yeah,
like some things. And honestly, it's exactly like shows like what the Audis that I saw before. Like
yeah.
the Audis, like kind of
Mhm,
like you have a pressure drop compensate like the
mhm.
thing. Of course, it will learn
Yeah.
in the future, and the new models will come. But also the people that train onto the models, and I mean, I'm sure that also in the future we're gonna make our own. But
Mhm,
the you need to have so much data. It's impossible. You need to have 100,000 of the data. It means 100,000 of systems to train your
mhm.
model, to have it fully AI optimized.
That's
So
insane.
it's a huge amount of data to put
Mhm,
to train your model. You cannot just have a even 2,000 audits, even 2,000 systems with the
mhm,
results to train it. It has to be 100,000 of the systems and results in order to say, okay, this is a fully AI system here that like does all the optimizations. So this is why I'm extremely skeptical to all the claims of the products in compressed air, especially like they do the control and stuff that is like fully like AI amazing like run stuff.
mhm.
Um, First of all, it's enough very often to have only physics. It's really fine. Good practice engineering statistical data.
Yeah.
And then AI can help you to maybe analyze data, parse data, save a bit of time and money on this, on
Mhm,
storing the data, like this kind of things. But given the conclusions based on the stuff, it has to be a huge amount of training. So whenever I see this as like a fully AI monitoring system. Like, okay, that's not. If you just put AI, you just put higher evaluation of your of your company. So
Yeah.
I don't think that they've been like 100,000 compressed air systems installed
Mhm.
and trained on that. So this is why I think it's don't overcomplicate it first. Start with the simple things, and there are actually not so many tools online that you can find nowadays that can
Mhm.
help you, like with some calculations. So I think it's important to understand
Mhm.
where and what, and maybe in next couple of coffees we can go through some technical tools, or we can make some videos to explain how exactly it works.
Mhm. So before we end, I know we went a little over, but I have a genuine question, and maybe this is just for me to help when I'm explaining some tools to people. So I created my own dashboard on Direktin's website, and in some of my tools, that one of the options is system snapshot, in parentheses says AI, and then AI powered system analysis. Going off of what the conversation we just had, and then that, what can you explain that to me?
So AI snapshot is not AI, it's only for the collection of the data. So this is
Okay.
what I just said, that it
Yeah.
helps you to collect and identify data and parse it. So meaning like just that, okay, so here is the compressor, and then just reads this and says, okay, this is the compressor, this is like the watt, and this is stores the data. So it's simply when you get like overloads of photos, Excel tables, information, it helps to reorganize it. So
Mhm.
basically, it's a data collection tool, and then it analyzes if it is enough the data for the next step.
Mhm.
So this is what is called the AI snapshot. The two steps before that you have there, it's a quick savings tool. So it's a
Mhm.
separate components to check. Then there is an energy efficiency chain. There you have the one component by another component. You can see very lean picture of the if your system like performed
Mhm.
fine or not. And then after the AI snapshot is basically you collected all the data, it's parsed it, you have some
Mhm.
first analysis, meaning that it's 70% of the data is collected. There is like not enough information on that, on that, on that. What is missing? So, and then this data then can be used later for the modeling
Mhm.
and for the simulation. So it also has a little bit of a benchmarking. For example, okay, your leaks are like 20% over. It's like it's more than medium like facility, and
Mhm.
so on and so on. So it's just like a first data collection thing, and then it goes into the modeling of the system. It's already EasyCast desktop, physics based, and needs some engineering experience in terms of to know how the components look like to put them together.
Mhm. Perfect. Well, I think that's a good recap, and I know we mentioned some new tools that we have, like the efficiency chain. I do want to say that I really like that because I'm a very visual person.
Yeah,
So
me
it's
too.
it's literally like a chain of, compressor, distribution, demand side, dryers, like, and then as you toggle and mess with, different inputs for each chain, it shows you how the whole chain interacts with each
Yeah,
other. So the
you
efficiency, I
can
love
put
it.
some photos like yeah,
Yes, yes,
yeah.
I love it. It's very cool to play with. So that is all there. We're happy to go into some demos or anything like that if people have specific questions for how they work. We know everybody's at different levels. So it can be really tailored to how you would use it. And then, I
Yeah,
mean, even just for me being in sales and coming from compressed air sales and component sales, the AI snapshot, I would have used that before any visit. I mean, because as like one salesperson, I had a giant portfolio of customers. I couldn't just go visit all of them,
yeah,
I mean, they're all over the place. So even just for my time, if I could have collected some data from them, plugged it into the snapshot and be like, here's a first shot, then I would have known exactly what to look at when I got there. And
yeah,
then instead of, going in there and walking around the facility trying to figure out what's what, you have that snapshot. So I'm like,
yeah,
oh, if I could take this back in time with me. But now it's even better because it's available for everybody.
yeah.
um,
Yes. Yes, just log in. It's for
Yeah.
free. The login, the dashboard, the tools, everything what you see, it's available. So
Mhm.
just try it and let us know.
Yes, very cool. Well, thank you so much for an awesome conversation as usual.
Yeah.
And we'll see everyone next week.
Have a nice weekend.
You too. Bye.
Bye.